but you can deliver. You know, that plays to me like this wrong notion that people used to have, that if you're an introvert or you're not here and there, they don't see you, you can hardly get anything done, or even if you get it done, you might not be easily recognized. Is that correct? Do you think that notion is right? And if you're an introvert like me as well, although wherever I say I'm an introvert, confirmed though, proven with personality profile test, people say you can't be an introvert. They just can't say I'm an introvert. Well, that's what they think. But being an introvert and winning with your own particular uniqueness, can you speak to that? Do you hold the view that people who are reserved or who play on the introvert space, they don't have a chance? Do you have something to say about that?
In summary, they really do have a chance. And that is where their unique wiring in terms of being reserved is also part of the big picture to enable them deliver wherever they find themselves. So I will say that irrespective of your personality type, you can still deliver. There is room for you. You have your lane to run. And if you run on that lane, you would achieve whatever goal it is that you are set to achieve. So take it from me, that is not an excuse from anybody, okay? And we wouldn't take that as well.
Why should I not agree with you?
Because
I agree with you because I'm playing in that space. I think what's important is self-awareness. You know, self-awareness is the key to actualizing who you are, maximizing your uniqueness. Before I talk too much, I want you to throw more light into how unique somebody can be. Let's say we're just two of us discussing, and I come before you now, my leadership expert coach. I say, Coach, what is it about me? How can I discover me? Can you say something about how unique I am? How can I even discover myself? How can I be self-aware? How can I even understand what you do? How will you discuss that with me? I just see somebody on this call is wondering, what is this uniqueness? What are they even saying? So can we enlighten our audience what we are trying to say?
Okay, thank you so much, Deborah. I'll start with this. There's a unique quote by Coco Chanel, and Coco Chanel says, in order to be irreplaceable, one must always be different. To underscore that quote, I will say that your eyes cannot replace your ears, although they are close to one another. They are closely situated. To also drive home my point, I'll use a bit of data. So the current world population as of February 2022, by the most recent United Nations estimates, we have 7.9 billion in the universe as of February. We're in February 2022. And out of this 7.9 billion population, you have it's a National Forensic Science Technology that says no two people have ever been found with the same fingerprints, including identity. Just to share, this data to back up, our discourse in terms of uniqueness, it is clearly proven that we are unique. And just to buttress further, I like using analogies because I believe it helps drive home the point better. I have this typical screw analogy that I use, imagining yourself, imagine a screw in a bag of nails. And because of the environment, the screw already assumed by identity, the environment, feeling, okay, that's my awareness, I'm a nail. And as such, it begins to act like a nail, or it wants to act like a nail. Unfortunately, because it is not wired, it is not shaped like a nail, when it comes to impacts, it does not impact the environment. And the environment, now let's use a wall as the environment. It is frustrated. There are two drivers. A nail will use a hammer. A hammer will drive a nail. A hammer will not drive a screw. It is a screwdriver. They have different driving forces. So it is frustrated. Even the nails that surround, that are in the environment are also frustrated. So just to now bring it back to our topic of discourse, as a leader, how well do you understand that your team of followership are uniquely wired, even with their skills, their knowledge and ability? How well do I make use of this to the benefit of overall objectives of possibly a business? You know, and taking back again to workplace, you know, workplace environment, wherever we find ourselves now. There's this Gallup research that says 85% of employees are not actively engaged. That means 15% are the ones engaged. What does this amount to? It's still this point of uniqueness. As a human being, have I profiled myself for the right opportunity? As a leader, have I also profiled my people to know how to put round pegs in round holes, not round pegs in square holes? As a parent, am I trying to copy another person's parenting style? You know, when we do things like this, when we do cut and paste, most times we don't impact. We find out that the purpose for which, or the reason why for which we are, you know, at the side of the divide, we don't fulfill, we do not impact. So in summary, you know, unique for purpose, it is simply about impacting the universe in whichever capacity we find ourselves as human beings. Let me just stop at that. Thank you.
Yes, you have hit the nail on the head. Being unique means identify who you are. And I said to people, many people are jumping on the trend of networking. I want to meet people. I want to go here. I want to be there. Personal branding, beautiful stuff. Trust me, very, very good. But before you meet the next person, what I'm saying is, have you met yourself? Do you even know who Deborah is? Do you know what makes Deborah strong? Or do you know why Deborah can be tired? Do you know what kind of thing works for you? Like you were talking about the nail, the screwdriver, and the hammer. Have you identified where you fit in the scheme of things? Is it all networking events you should be? Is it everywhere you think you'll be able to contribute? Before you go and meet the next person, do an analysis and find out from yourself, what value do I have to contribute to this place before you think of the value you are going to take? So that by the time discussions happen, you can contribute meaningfully. So I want to thank you for that definition and clear explanation, because it's important for people to meet themselves before they attempt to meet other people. So now, beautiful, you have said that we need to discover whether we are nail or screwdriver, everything, or we are gege bread or we are something. Whatever we are, whatever we are fitted for. There's somebody on this call who is asking, oh my God, how will I even know who I am? How can I meet myself? What proven ways? Because the truth is, it's other people that will see your backs. There are some things that we know about ourselves. Maybe you can say, I like sweeping or eating or cooking, but that's not all there is. So in what ways can somebody sit down and begin to harvest the talent, the gift, and the uniqueness that God has wired, if I'm going to use your language, into everybody? As many as we are in the world, we don't even have the same fingerprint. So that makes it easy for us to accept the truth that we are different from the next person. And copy does not work as a model. So somebody wants to discover herself. How can she discover herself?
Okay. Thank you for that question. It is very key. And I'll say, once you get to the point where you know that, yes, self-discovery is key. Most times as individuals, our personality actually speaks to us. But because we don't take time to listen. So, you know, it's even difficult as human beings to listen to others. It's a skill that we need to practice so hard on. Now, for other people, it is difficult. How much more ourselves? We tend to, you know, relegate ourselves, and we do not listen. We don't listen to ourselves. So there are times where you take your time to listen to, you know, your conscious, your subconscious. You see, you know, and listening at this point, I'm not just using as the ears, your ears alone. You listen with every part of your body to say, this is what I'm meant to do. When you listen to yourself in the context of listening, I'm using, you tend to know more what makes you tick. So for me, I'll say sometimes when I am functioning in a frequency or in a path that is not actually mine, if I do things that I'm not wired to do naturally. It's not saying that, I'm not saying that you wouldn't do that sometimes, but when I function on the frequency where I do things I'm not wired to do, I get stressed out. So listening to yourself, you get to know a lot of things about yourself. And when you do that as well, it is key. I'll use the point of also, that is a strong point. When you take time to actually listen to you, have that me time to know more about yourself. You mentioned something earlier when we started. Personality types. Even when the bigs of this world, the 16 personalities have said some things about you and all. Those two can help, but in the true context of it, when these things happen or when they give you some of these reports, you as an individual, you need to also sit still, listen and know what exactly it is. Where do you identify your how like put your weak points, your strengths, or your developmental areas, as we choose to mention these days. So that is a key factor. Then when you collaborate with people, I realize that most times most of us tend to refrain. And when you refrain, you're on your own. You really do not know where the rough edges, where those rough edges meet, and what brings out what in you. Collaboration with people at different levels also helps you to discover who you are. So there are some people you relate to that, say candidly, in quotes, they bring out the best or the worst in you. So collaboration is also key, in bringing out who you are, who Olabisi really is. Working with people, those are key areas. So I'll stop at those two for now. And in the course of our discussion, I know that yes, other things will come up that I'll use to put together. But two key things: when you listen to yourself, aside the tests you carry out, aside the psychometric test that try to say this is your personality and all, you as an individual, you need to take time to listen to yourself. And I use it this way: your eyes, your ears, every part of you, to really know who you are. And also, of course, when you collaborate with people, it goes a long way to bring out who you are truly. Thank you.
Thank you so much. If I hear you correctly, what you're saying is there is an innate ability for everybody to do a personal analysis, which if you pay attention, you will know. And I cannot agree less, because even as children, when we didn't have anybody to impress, you know what I mean? There are many things that we do. You say, I want to be a pilot. I want to be a this. I want to be a fighter. Something just starts appealing to you. You see some children playing, and they will try to nurse the other person that fell down. Yeah, this girl, do you want to be a nurse? There's some children, the way they start talking. Say, are you going to be a lawyer? It's okay. Must you fight for everybody? So some of these things are the moments where we were not impressing anybody. We seem to have manifested certain traits. Because the truth about those personality profile tests, as you have said, that they are very good in that they move you near to the street of where you belong. It's just like somebody coming from Canada and arrived at the Murtala Mohammed Airport in Lagos, and they say, where is Ikeja? So those things will take you to a zone, because don't forget, you are just answering questions. So they will give you like a zone, like an area. Okay, what part of Ikeja are you going? You say GRA. But when you get those reports, and that's why we'll always emphasize that you need to move with a coach. Allow somebody to help you understand some of these things, because it doesn't mean you can't really get it. It's just that you can be assisted. And
I was even coming to that later. That was the cream of the iceberg. The tip of the iceberg.
Okay, let me keep it. So when it gets into that zone, to be able to say, I'm going to house 54, something street, and you enter the house. And when you enter the house, you know the room to enter. That is what BC is saying. To say that you do all those, they will give you the address, the description of what you look like. Because don't forget, it's a grouping. You are either a defender, a challenger, or they give you one name, so that they not tell you these are the people that exhibit this character. But somewhere there is a mix. And that means you are the one the people that know the code for those cells, they don't even know you personally. So they can just tell you something normal and just so worried. So you can listen to yourself. Find out those moments that you are not impressing anybody. Find out when you are alone. What do you feel like doing? Whether they give you food or not, you don't even care. You just do it effortlessly. What is that thing that immediately you hear it, even you putting your hands on it, before you even start, you're already sick. So I think you should avoid. So, but where the problem comes is identity crisis. You want to belong. because BC is doing it, and I don't want the society to think that I am weak or I am not up to it. And that's why we're discussing this topic of uniquely. Because if you want to copy, if a screwdriver wants to copy a nail or an armor, they will do well, but they will have done better if they have done whatever they have to do as their personality. So basically, I like to thank you so much. Yeah, they'll do it, we see, they will shine, and at the end of the day, people will be wondering, why are you such a genius? You imagine a monkey on a tree and a fish in the water. The day that the fish says, I'm going to the tree to go and meet the monkey so that we can run a race, you know the person that will pass and the person that will fail. You already know. Yeah. Because the monkey is in his natural habitat and is so crafted, designed, his spinal cord, everything, he can just move anyhow. I know the fish is designed for water. So what's important is people should do everything possible to identify who you are and like what you know. When you discover yourself, don't want to be like your neighbor. Because your neighbor cannot even, you can't even shine as your neighbor. All right. So we are discussing this matter of who are you, what do you do, how do you look, who should you be? Why is this topic important? What kind of benefits do people hold when they finally discover or they take the pain to go and discover who they are and they say, hey, hallelujah, I now know my uniqueness. So what about you?
Okay, so I'll couch it this way, how you can use it to your advantage, that's your uniqueness. As mentioned earlier, your unique wiring is what stands you out, and I don't want to, I cannot overemphasize the various ways, that you can stand out. A leader in your career, in relationships, whichever way you choose. But I need to make this clear, and you mentioned it earlier, that using your uniqueness to your advantage is not about trying to be better than someone else.
Yeah.
If you are a fish, you are meant to be in water, and because you want to copy a monkey on the tree, you now want to jump there. You have shot yourself dead on arrival. So it's not about trying to be better than someone else or comparing your output with another individual's output. Yeah. It's more about putting your own signature in the various ways you show up.
Wow.
And whatever way you show up, just ensure that your signature is there. So there are several ways that your uniqueness can stand you out, but I'll just, let me just share 3 to whet our appetite. First and foremost, you are laser focused. It gives you depth, and as such, you are more impactful. That's one of the advantages. That laser focus for you is there. Now, according to the University of Stranson now, it says only 8% of goal setters achieve their goals. So these are all the things. Because you want to do all things, you want to be all things to all men, you lose that thing. Now, going back to our screw analogy, let's imagine the screw has started setting goals as a nail. Now, using the acronym, the SMART acronym of setting goals, in terms of reality, it can't work. You mentioned it earlier. A fish, stay in the water, and just respect yourself. A monkey, stay on the tree and respect yourself. So even when you set these goals, and that's why I agree with that outcome, that data provided by the University of Stranson, that 80% don't achieve their goals. Why? So when you are unique, putting it back to the context what we are discussing, you are laser focused. It gives you more impact. The second point, I will say, you are sought after. And now, have you ever wondered why some individuals keep dominating their spheres, their spheres of life, and people keep gravitating towards them? It's basically because they stand out.
True.
They don't, join the pack, or they don't, they ensure that they know what they stand for, and as such they project themselves from their areas from their strength point. They carry out their activities in ways which no one else can. And believe me, when people feel your touch, and when I mean touch, is that touch of excellence, because there are different touches. There are some people you would relate with, and their touch, sincerely, you won't go back to them. Making that excellent one, candidly, people keep coming back. So that's the second point in terms of, using your uniqueness to your advantage. Then the third one, you are authentic. You are authentic. And you and I, we want to buy things in our climb now. One of the first things that would occur to you, pick an item, in your subconscious, you ask yourself, hope this is, try to look for the trademark, you try to look for some things to make sure that this is original, you're not picking fake. And that is it. When you are, you work in your uniqueness, you ensure that you put that forward. You are authentic as an individual. And because we, of course, we know they are fake. You know, there's fake, there are duplicates of whatever it is that we have.
Yeah.
So being able to operate in various fields, you know, without any facade is actually blissful. Because you are in your element, you are more productive. You know, you are more productive. And I said it earlier, I tell people just a simple litmus test for me. When I say that I'm struggling unnecessarily on some things, I'm getting stressed over some things. The truth is, I've already left my authenticity. I've already left what I'm wired to do. And I've done so consistently. Truth, there are times you would actually leave your comfort zone. It is healthy for you as an individual. It is extremely healthy. But when it is consistent, you will leave that part. Then that is where the challenge is.
That's
so I'll stop at this. But yeah, but I'll say something. Most of us have slowed down or cut our creative juices by trying to imitate or trying to replicate another person's big picture. As individuals, be yourself. Show up your uniqueness. Be proud about it.
I love it. I just love everything you said. Put your signature wherever you are. Let them say that the only person who could have done this like this is BC, is Deborah. The only person who laughs like this, because if you laugh like that, it's for a reason. If you dress like that, it's for a reason. If you walk like that, it's for a reason. So those unique things about you that makes you different, like BC said, they will put your authenticity to you because you are not struggling. In the street language, you're not doing copy, follow. You know how we call all these words. So because it's you, it comes out even when they wake you up. You are the same. You know when they say yes, you just because it's in you, you are the same. So you are authentic. They don't expect a flavor of you in the morning. Imagine you walk up to any particular eatery. They serve you jollof and chicken or something. In the morning, it's tasting somehow. When you went back in the afternoon, the chicken is too soft. In the evening, it is too hard. The following day, it is too salty. And they don't have
I just won't go back there.
You will never go there. You ask yourself, one day, it must be food poison. So your uniqueness helps you live an authentic life. You are positively predictable. What I mean is, this thing she won't take you. Don't even go there. This is not that kind of show. She will not follow you. So you are positively predictable. It allows people to come near you, as you have said. People gravitate towards you because you have that scent and flavor that only you can produce. And that's what I think that people who do not take matters like this seriously, they are doing a disservice to themselves. Because as you said about that goal setting, let it be smart, let it be accurate, what's the measurable? Once you start on the wrong footing, the Bible says the foundation be destroyed. If the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? We go to a lot of vision board party. People do many things. They just do. Without resolving this matter, it's not. It ain't going nowhere. Thank you so much, BC, for that nugget. I would like you to speak to, why should an individual maximize his potential? For example, by discussing, if you know your strengths, you will maximize your potential. You will be a person on influence. You will make impact in your society. People gravitate towards you. And somebody say, if they don't gravitate towards me, what's the business? What's my business is that? I mean, what do you think people who do not take this message seriously, what are they losing? Or what do they stand to lose? Because sometimes there are two ways to get motivated. Either when you appreciate the benefits, or you don't want to, experience the disadvantage. When they tell you, if you don't do this thing, it's a big problem. Some people will not take COVID-19 vaccine now, not because they like it is fancy. The reason some people will take, especially when they are frequent travelers, is that, if you don't take, the thing that will happen to you. What are the things that will happen to those who do not take our message serious? Okay. Maybe that will ginger some people.
So let me be a bit vivid because of what you said. Now, let's imagine when Usain Bolt wanted to do that popular 100-meter dash. I think he did it in 9 minutes 59 seconds. So imagine on the track, he has seen he's on the track and part of those he ran with, I think, is it Tyson Gay now? Maybe he sees Tyson Gay, doing a wide arm starts, and he wants to copy, the way it is. I beg, I don't care. Let me do this one. Let me just copy and paste. And he tries to run the way my Tyson Gay does. I bet he would not have beat that record because he has copied someone. Those that came second or third, I understand maybe like 4 seconds, 3 seconds, and all. But his unique way of starting propelled him, and he completed that race. And till today, I'm not sure if anybody has, I think someone has beat that record. But just to state that clear. Also imagine, another analogy, they're on the same lane. And he just feels, no, this is not my lane. It is this other person's lane. And in the heat of the race, he decides to cross into another person's lane because he feels that is the winning edge for him. Sincerely, it will be a catastrophe. So deriving the disadvantages from what the analogy I tried to paint. Now, first and foremost, you would frustrate yourself.
Wow.
So if you think all this story they're saying uniqueness or no uniqueness, what is it? I beg, let me just do. Let me copy and paste. I see BC do this today. Let me do. I see Deborah do that tomorrow. You would frustrate yourself because you will not make that impact. And you will not achieve your goal. And you're not achieving your goal, you also frustrate the people around you. So Usain crosses into Gay's lane. He doesn't win the Olympics in 2009, Berlin Olympics. He frustrates Gay as well. They fall down. You make things difficult for yourself and others, and that is clear. As simple as that analogy is, it is quite loaded because most times it is what we do on a daily basis. Now, I said you frustrate yourself. Then the second point, you deprive the universe of the value that is woven into your essence. And that's why we set the foundation based on the distinct uniqueness even in our fingers. So it shows that is your competitive edge. You deprive the universe of that, the value woven into your own essence as Olabisi or as Deborah. And in various spheres of life, wherever we find ourselves, we need to know that no other person can ever be you. So you have your skills, you have your knowledge base. Thank God for Google. Thank God for Google. You can Google anything at this point. So the knowledge base is there, out there for anybody. And abilities too, we can learn some things. However, what stands you out, your competitive edge, is because it is busy doing this based on her experiences, her shape, size, whatever it is. And that's why I was still keep referring to what you said about fish in water and a monkey on the tree. They are uniquely shaped for that purpose. That is why a fish is not, fine, you see some fish that is flat, but most of them, in terms of shape, their gills and all, that's why they are uniquely shaped that way. So you deprive the universe of that uniqueness or that value woven into your essence, and you deprive yourself of feeling fulfilled. And I don't want to sound insensitive, but you see so many people today out there, you feel they are doing fantastic and they are so happy, they smile and all. And you still hear, this person committed suicide or something and all. It's because that fulfillment is not there. You do all but because it's not your picture. It is not your race you are running. It is not your big picture you are trying to follow, whichever fast pace, leader or no leader, follower, individual, parent. As such, the fulfillment is not there. And once the fulfillment is not there, I tell you, you just realize that you are empty. It is void. And as such, people falling off, committing suicide and all, it is part of all this that could have caused it. So that fulfillment is there. So I tell you, start to gain a lot, please. When you choose to be on your lane, unique, it is for a purpose, impact, productivity. That is what we are telling you today. Then lastly, you end up not impacting your environment. I won't overflow that because something we've said, since morning or since we started this live program. Even using the workplace balance, your KPIs, your key performance indicators will show your inefficiency. Because the truth is, you are part of the truth. It will definitely reveal it. So just to stay at those three, really, they stand to lose a lot. You need to find your niche, have your niche, own your space, and give it your best. Thank you.
Olabisi, that was a masterclass. I mean, how do you love it? You serve it hot. I told our people, I said, I don't want to introduce it too much. Because I know that when you start, You will do your own introduction by what you're saying. Thank you so much, because you see, it hits very deep. That was why I said sometimes when the benefits do not motivate people, usually the disadvantage will motivate them. Now, when you hear things like celebrities committing suicide, jumping from four-story building, and you're wondering, there is money, there is fame. What do you want? There is a void inside that is uniquely shaped that only your purpose can satisfy. So, guys, people on the call, my sisters, my brothers, our listeners, and all our beloved friends, and those who watch this video later, it's very, very important. It is not late to discover your purpose. Abraham started finding purpose at 75. David started finding purpose as a teenager. He brought down Goliath. So whichever place you fall, 75 or a teenager or in between, not starting out in discovering this is the real disadvantage. At this point, there's no problem. But from this point forward, be sure that you are sure that you are sure that you are sure that the universe is not deprived of your essence. You know, so that's the whole essence of this message. And I think we may have to do a part 2 to this discussion, because it's a real discussion that every one of us must continue to hear until we get to a point of decision. Thank you very much for what you have said. I'm now thinking, because you see, there are a lot of mindset blocks. People can say, oh, this unique, oh God, what would I don't think I am interested. What do you think can be barriers for somebody who believes that maybe it's not time, let's wait for another December? What kind of factors can make somebody not even want to start out immediately? Now that I'm saying that everybody should start, somebody somewhere, there's something going on in his mind or her mind. Okay, I've heard all these girls talking. But what are those kind of things that will stop on their way, that will make them do it? So that once we identify those barriers, everybody will know that they don't allow those barriers to stop them anymore.
Okay, so I'll put it at that: limiting factors. You know, factors limiting us from maximizing our uniqueness. And I will start with one thing, just to align with what you started with: awareness, self-identity, and all. Now, shedding more light to it, you know, your self-identity is basically how you identify yourself, or how you identify and define yourself. It's your perception of specific and selective traits, qualities and abilities that represent you, the qualities that represent Olabisi. Now, some of it will not take it as serious, you know, they are there, but we will not just, it's nothing, because it is you, it is from you as an individual. And unfortunately, these are the things that make up your personal identity. Now, when you say you lack it, you lack that self-identity, it tends to you now following other people's opinion. So those are limiting factors. You don't even see any need for it, because you are lost you are buried somewhere, so you don't even know who you are as an individual. And so that can limit you even walking in that space. You know, people's opinion will matter more than what you yourself will think or say. And unfortunately, because we are human beings, people can even guide you based on their own selfish interest. I can say, oh, Deborah, the way you attend to some things, I see it as being arrogant. And the truth is, it's not really about you being arrogant. It's about me being insecure. And that's the truth. And that also affects it. So it is key. That can also, when you don't know who you are, your self-identity is lost, it prevents you. You don't even in the first place know what you stand for. So I'll say the second point, fear. I know I read it somewhere. It says false evidence appearing real. And they differentiate fear of the unknown. And in fact, neuroscience has shown that uncertainty feels similar to failure in our brains. You know, so that's why so many people would rather avoid change, because of how uncomfortable, you know, they have associated that feeling, or the feelings can be. So fear of the unknown can stop people. I know a few people that have realized that this is how I'm wired, but because if I display this, if I show this, people will say something is not right. You know, if I am able to do this, people will say something is not right. And that leads me to the second point under fear. I call it WWPS, WAPS syndrome. What will people say?
What will people say?
So what will people say? What will people say? And I like the fun we started with Michael Jackson. You know, initially, by the time he started the contouring of his face, at a point, he was still making impact with whichever way he felt. Left to him, he wanted to look a particular way and sincerely, he pursued it. But most of us, and that made him unique. As a Black American, it made him unique. People still listen to the music, people still gravitated towards him because he was making impact. Now, coming back to our point of discourse, what will people say? And that has killed a lot of things, in us as individuals. It has really, really done us a lot of disfavor. So many of us live our lives primarily to please others. We derive our self-worth from people's opinion. Our validation is from people's opinion of us, and it is very dangerous. So that is also a limiting factor. Now, I'll move to beliefs. Beliefs, either by nature or nurture, we all have beliefs in all our critical areas of life. Your relationships, your career, successes, spirituality, in whichever way, health and wellness, you have your beliefs. So imagine, and some of these beliefs, they can be positive. Some are very limiting. Now, let's take a belief, for example. Some people say, oh, people don't listen to short people. As such, when you push them to do some things, they don't want to. And that is a belief, because looking at some world leaders like Napoleon Bonaparte or Winston Churchill, I think they are maybe like 5 feet 6 inches. You don't see they at all, but the truth is they impacted their world. Who won't say you don't know them? You won't say you don't know them. Even in our Nigeria, people are still impacting, irrespective of whatever it is, shape or anything. So those limiting beliefs can also hinder you from impacting your world, from maximizing your potentials. And lastly, I'll speak to environment. Environmental factors are upbringing, culture, geographic locations, and life experiences. They greatly impact the way, or they greatly, to a large extent, they hinder us from expressing our uniqueness. I'll come to us as parents now, because I know we have quite a number of people looking at or on this call. As parents, how many of us have shut down our children, in their creative juices? They do something like, don't do this, don't do that, because of, the environment does not allow that. So a lot of us, our nurture, nature has prevented us from exhibiting, has limited us from exhibiting some things. I've seen creativity dry up in some environments because of another person's insecurity. Oh, this person is doing fantastic, and you just kill it because of your own selfish interest. So the charge for us, and I'll just drop it at that, I'll leave it at that, is to ensure that every one of us on this call, we create the environment around us where uniqueness thrives, where we allow others to be themselves.
Thank you. You have said so much. If I wrote a book from this thing you have said, these limiting beliefs, and the truth about it is, I see somebody in a cage right now and saying, I think it's true. What will people say? I think it's true. This thing is affecting me. Fair. I think it's true. Is it now to start manifesting it? I think it's true. So now we've gone on this conversation for 45 minutes. I want us to drive it to somewhere. How can people be helped? Somebody is listening to us now and saying, hey, I know. They said that environment and all that. Okay, now that I've left Mushin or Papa Jao, I've left Oshodi, I've left Agegi. Now that I'm now in a new place, I want to start manifesting. Or I'm still in that my Abule Egba something, whatever you want to call it. How do I begin to manifest? Because sometimes, like you said, environment matters a lot. When you are in the midst of mediocres and you have found who you are, that you should shine, you are doing too much. Keep quiet. Is it only you? Like you said, their insecurity is what they are trying to bleed on you. Now, that person is in front of you, DC, and I told you the story of his life. He said, you know what? This uniqueness thing, I don't want to commit suicide. I don't want all the bad things that should happen to people who found their uniqueness. I need help. I need help. Coach BC, I am here for you. What kind of help is available for those people as we begin to round up?
Yes, fantastic. So in closing, that's why I'll now come to the coaching part of it. So I'll say something. One of the things that has come to mind, top of my mind, trying to help people, get a coach. Find yourself a good coach. Now, people, the way it is when you say coach, people look at the investment. Hey, BB, that's your heartbeat because you feel, do I have that much and all that? We'll still get to that. Maybe another discourse and another session. How we can even, benefit or manage that part. But you need someone, as you said earlier, to ask you the direct and probing questions to liberate you from where you have buried yourself. There's a lot about our conscious, our subconscious, and all. And the truth is, it's like in a dark place, however little the light is. And that's why I'm not even saying the coaching, you go and get a coach that would, you break an arm and a leg. In a dark space, if you light a candle or you light a matchstick, that light, however little, will still guide you out of darkness. And if it is candle you want, yes, it is bigger, in larger magnitude, intensity, it will guide you out. If it is floodlight, I'm looking at coaching in different grades and gradings and all. But you actually need someone that would help you out of that cocoon that you are. You need to be guided to score your goals in the critical areas of your life. You are supported to make impact wherever you find yourself. Now, let me just even share a bit of data from the Institute of Coaching. It says 80% of people who receive coaching, reports increased self-confidence. That is 80%. That is data. And of course, data do not lie. You can refer back to it. And over 70% benefit from improved work performance, relationships, and more effective communication skills. So I suggest you, it is needful at this point. It is extremely required. Get yourself a coach, someone that can help you, that can guide you out. I've used the analogy of the different grades and intensity of light. In whatever space you find yourself, you would see. You need someone to guide you. It's scoring your goals like a football match. Imagine players on the field. Someone has coached them, even the Ronaldos of this world. Someone has coached them to help them to use their uniqueness to score the goals. So it is key. You need that coach. Then secondly, following it, I'll say a mentor also. Get someone to mentor you. And of course, if you look at Deborah's profile, she coaches, she mentors, she does all these things. And you have seen help in front of you. So in various spheres of life, you are uniquely wired for. You can get people that would impact you and they are willing to impact. You ride on your mentor's shoulders, really. A mentor has used 20 years to do something. You can collapse the years because you're on their shoulder and do it in 5 years, 3 years, 2 years. That is the benefit. You learn from their mistakes and avoid it. Learning from their experience shortens the journey for you, I tell you. Wow. You move at a fast, more impactful pace. And lastly, I'll say about collaboration. So I've been in a lot of, for that was last year. And of course, I'm going to continue with the collaboration. Deborah, it's part of collaboration that we met. And that is also very key. Yeah. And in that collaboration, you see people that will stretch you. Relating with people, we've had sessions, we've been thrown into the deep to do some things, and your uniqueness has been tested. You've been able to draw some things from you. They'll give you an assignment like, can I do this? And you realize that, true, you can do this. Some people will feel, oh, I'm so reserved, I can't speak in this. And you realize that when you start, you are over-talking self because it's something that is in you. It's inside. Because you can do it inside. So I'll say collaboration is key. Who is in your inner circle? Who are you networking with? You mentioned something about networking. If it's a rubbish network, sincerely, it will pull you down. But you're networking with people that they are out to drag you from wherever it is you are buried. They ask you questions. They challenge you. You get the right information. It's as if, it's a quantum leap for you. So I'll tell you, it's a very profound way of propelling yourself to greater heights. And in the right collaboration, you leverage other strengths. You have partners you are accountable to. So I'll stop at that. Key 3 things. A
coach, a mentor, they collaborate with networks that are healthy. Wow.
Yes.
What else can I have? Nothing actually. And the summary of what you're saying is that you can't do life alone. You are not wired to do life alone. God in his infinite wisdom looked at Adam, the first human being he made, and remarked, it's not good. My intention is not for one person to just be thinking alone. It's not just about wife and husband. It's talking about that partnership, that collaboration you're talking about. And as the saying goes, 2 good heads are better than one. So look around you. You may be surrounded and still be isolated. Maybe your approach, you don't have advisors, you don't bounce the discussion off anybody. And like BC said, don't say until this name coaches me, I can't afford that name. coaches me. There are coaches around you. Funny enough, people tend to believe that this whole coach, what's happening to all this coach. The truth is, it has always been a coachable world. It's just that it has not been so defined. If you see the way the parents were mentoring their children in those days, for those people that they are told good story, a man will say, this is your uncle in Lagos. Go there, let him teach you how to do life. Some people will say, go and meet your uncle when he comes home in December. Go and learn how to sell chapat or go and do this particular trade. Some people will come and say, what are you doing? I am not. Baba, what is, let me take him. So with people who are always in coach through generation, they may not call it that name. But the truth is, the world has so changed now. Nobody even has your time. They are all busy. So you will do your destiny a big favor by finding a coach who is ready, available, and trained to take you through systems that can work for your life. You will never find a man in jail or that is in prison who will stand as his own bail. So if all of these limitations we've been discussing describe any part of you or look like what you would like to explore further, see this madam that is talking. I don't need to tell you that she's a sound coach. She has told herself already. Please be in her DM. Speak to her. At the end of the day, it's not casting, nothing is cast in stone. What's important is hold yourself accountable for the next level that you desire. See all this, I believe I confess. Enemy fall down and die. My sister, those things are not the issue. The first enemy to conquer is you. And because you don't want to fall down and die, find a coach to help. Olabisi, thank you so much. You poured of yourself so generously. You have held nothing back. And I'm so grateful that you honor this call, to come on this call, to speak to the world, to show your own uniqueness as well, and to also allow the universe to benefit from the immense treasure that the Father God has packaged in you. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. I'm sure that I will call you again. We'll have this another time very soon. I want you to say your last words so that we can allow our viewers to go and take their night rest. What will be your last words?
So I'll just use a quote, from Osho Rajneesh, and I'll read it. It says, nobody is superior, nobody is inferior, but nobody is equal either. People are simply unique, incomparable. You are you. I am I. I have to contribute my potential to life. You have to contribute your potential to life. I have to discover my own being. You have to discover your own being. I close with that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's so profound. So all the people you're admiring, I want to be like this, is because they are using their uniqueness. So go and shine with your uniqueness. Do we have questions? Can we take one question or two? Is anybody on this call who has a question? Yeah, I see you, Inconsola Bolaji. Thank you for being here. PXX Digital, we want to appreciate you. Light Media, thank you for staying through. The Tinkerbell, thank you. Ololade, George Aremu, my first name. Gloria, thank you. Ike Olumba, Jonathan, Jojo of Life. Thank you for coming on the call. Does anyone have any question in case there's something you want us to throw more light on? Otherwise, you have to go back to this recording. You'll be live on my page. Listen to it again. Ask yourself any question. You never graduate from the school of divine purpose. Just keep discovering, because at every stage of your life, there is more. At every stage of your life, there is more. He said, the tree that beareth fruit, my Father purges it, that it might bear more fruit. So you may want to sit down again and do the analysis and be sure, am I below? Am I comparable to my potential, or am I operating at optimal level? Until we come your way again, since there is no question, we want to appreciate you for spending your time with us tonight. This year, I want to thank you so profoundly for being here today. Thank you so much, everyone, and we'll be bye from this place. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.